Awesome. Okay. Now we good. Do you know who that is? That's Bo. You'll have to answer it. I'm getting ready to go live. Just tell him I can call him back in an hour. Just answer. Yeah. Is everything okay? Yeah, I'll give him a call after. I can't right now. I got like 2 minutes and I'm waiting for Blog Talk on. Okay. I really hope people could see this on Facebook. This is like the first time I've had like no views. Wow. Ooh. Hi, everybody. How you doing tonight? Another episode of ATU. And, I'm listening to my intro and I'm laughing at myself, because it says Reverend Susan Swanbeck, the Viking Celtic. I mean, how do you manage to jumble all these things up together? And yet they're all correct. I don't know. The whole thing's just whack to me. So, a lot of fun, a lot of fun, a lot of goofiness. So those that are actually watching me in video tonight can see I do have a new co-host. So my co-host will call SD. Okay, I can't say his real name on air because I don't want to be taking that. But we have an orange SD, my little co-host over here, and yep, my other little four-legged friend is getting jealous because he keeps coming in the room. So but on tonight's show, we're going to talk about intuitive abilities. We're talking about being intuitive and an empath, which the combination is kind of like, whoa, hit you deep a lot of times. It really does hit you deep. So, what we have for you tonight is intuitive empaths. Now, we're going to talk about signs, types, and the downsides because there are a lot of downsides to being an empath. Trust me, I know. Okay. So, we have self care also and how to protect yourself and things like that. So, definitely you want to tune into this. So hopefully you guys can see me over on Facebook and on YouTube. So if you guys come on, please let me know. And don't forget, hit the bell notifications. Hit the bell notifications to find out, find out when I'm going live. And that way you go boom and you can come right on. So we're going to get right down to business here. So hopefully if you guys want to watch the replay, that's fine too. But the information is here to help you out. And that's basically what it's all about. And you never know what I'm doing next week. So, and it is Halloween week. And so even though he looks brown, he's actually bright orange. Kind of like my nail color, bright orange. Bright orange is what he is. So now, have you ever been told, guys, that you're too sensitive? And please feel free to chime in anytime you want. And I will take calls. Let me put up that graphic over there for a minute. Boom. There you go. Got the graphic. Call-in number is right here on the website. And the call-in number, of course, for anybody that wants to call in, has questions about your empathic abilities. I could take callers on the second half of the show, which is in a half hour. So you can always call in at 323-870-3877 is the call-in number. So we're talking tonight or about me and SD here. This is Master SD. Yeah, he's cool. All right. So me and Master SD over here. We're talking about empaths and your abilities. Now, a lot of people get told, oh my God, you're too sensitive, you're too this, you're too that, and that's what's happening. So, you get, they tell you to toughen up or suck it up or just stop because you feel too much, you're too heavy. It's like this is going on, that's going on. And they tell you you're too sensitive. But you know what? Guess what? There might be a reason that you guys are kind of too sensitive, okay? Maybe you always felt like you knew something was going to happen before it happened. Now, we're talking about intuitive empaths, is what we're talking about. This is different from a regular empath. Intuitive empath feels things kind of a little bit stronger, let me tell you. So, there is definitely a lot to have to that. So, and you seem to know how others are feeling without them actually, putting anything into words is what it is. So being an empath, especially an intuitive empath, they actually believe to have a unique kind of empathy. Okay. The trait actually combines empathy with the ability to understand and share feelings of others, with instincts and perceptions, and also intuitiveness is also, we're also going to be bringing in the spirit guides, the energy. That is it. Because most spirit readers right now, we're dealing with energy. A lot of energy is what we're dealing with. Okay. So, I mean, so when you are reading energy or dealing with energy, these are things that you need to be careful with because you can expel your own energy and you don't want to do that. You don't want to expel your own energy. Now, it's actually important to note here that there is no scientific evidence that empathic intuitive empathics actually exist. There is no scientific evidence, but hey, what are you going to do? It is what it is. Some scientists actually believe that intuitive empaths are actually close related to people who have certain cells of sympathy. They have a strong cell development, and that's what makes their sympathy turn into empathic abilities. I don't know. This was just done on a study. It actually, what it does is it overlaps with your emotions. So, authors in the same study drew comparisons between empathy and compassion. Note that both emotions are actually invoked when something bad happens to another person. Yes, but having an empathic ability is something that's slightly different. Now, if this is something you relate to, please feel free. Type in a question. I'd love to hear from you guys. Now, alternatively, okay, alternatively, intuitive empaths are actually correspond more closely with highly emotional individuals, is what they say. Now, I don't consider myself a highly emotional individual. I consider myself a sensitive, yes, energy reader, yes, but I don't feel I'm oversensitive. So, but while the existence of empaths, okay, as we're discussing it here, me and SD are actually discussing this here. It's supposed by scientists that some people strongly believe in the offer that this has something to do with our ancestors. Now, this is something that I think is pretty cool. So, and did you know that there are actually different types of empaths, different types of empaths and empathic ability? Hmm. So we're going to get into it, and this has a lot to do with the teaching aspect of teaching you guys information, what you need, how to grab onto this information. If anybody's having trouble contacting me over on Facebook or having any Facebook issues, go over to the YouTube page. You can get over there as well. You can watch me also on LinkedIn. Um, but there are many different channels that I am on if you guys are interested in that. So what we have going on right now is there actually three different types. Now there are three different types of actually empaths, and this comes from Judith Orloff. She's an MD. Okay. Now, and again, she's also a psychiatrist, an intuitive empath, and the author. The name of her book is The Empathic's Guide to Survival, something I would recommend for everybody to read. I've never read it myself, but by the information that I have gathered, a lot of the information actually does come from the author. So I strongly recommend that. Life Strategies for Sensitive People, and they call it sensitive people, but yeah. So it being an empath is a bit much. Now, according according rather than the empatherical research, there are actually three types of empaths, and you could have more than one of these. There's a physical empath, an emotional empath, and an intuitive empath. Now, it's not uncommon for you to have three or four different types of this empathic ability. Okay, it is really not uncommon. Now, let's try to get a little bit into the difference of what these certain types of empaths are before we get into self care and the downsides and stuff. So, now, a physical empath actually picks up on a lot of stuff in their own bodies. They pick up on other people's physical symptoms that can actually take on illnesses of other people. Yes, that is something that's true. Now, this is something that often happens. Individuals, if you're an energy reader, medium, a psychic, you will pick up on the physical symptoms of those that have passed over, as well as those that are here. So, and that is something we could talk about a little bit later. So, you also pick up on other individuals' feelings as well. Then there are intuitive empaths. Those who experience life extraordinary perceptions is another way of putting it. Now, intuitive empaths are extremely perceptive and may have the following traits. Let's see, this is some of the traits that they're actually talking about. physical abilities that can manifest as a sense of knowing. And again, that's a clair. So that would be considered a clair knowing. Okay, so that's a clair knowing. Openness to telepathy. Yes, common, common, common. Hey, Kelly Jean, what's up, my girl? You like my new co-host? This is SD over here. SD's my new co-host. Can't say his name live on the SO. SD, my orange new co-host. There you go. He likes to sit and watch. So openness to telepathy, and that's not uncommon, especially parents, grandparents, or even with our animals. For some reason, we get this like sixth sense. We know that someone is saying something to us. It's kind of in their head. I did have one child that used to talk to me that way, so that's not an uncommon ability. So the ability to receive messages in dreams. Well, that does happen. Yes, it does. But I would have to say half the time I'm probably passing it off to my other half. Not SD here. Not SD. My man. I pass off the dream stuff to my man as I sit there and I snore. I tell him to leave me alone and they bother him, I think. Oops. He's going to beat me up later. Okay. Let's see. The capacity for animal and plant communication. This is another trait. Now, I have been talking lately a lot to my plants. So, this is something that I say, okay, let's experiment and see if this is true. So, since I started growing my own vegetables within my house, I started talking a lot more to my plants. Okay. So, I do find that they are responding to having that conversation, whether it has something to do with the conversation I'm having or the fact that I'm breathing out the carbon monoxide that they need to breathe in. Who knows? But we'll say it has something to do with that. And yeah, I do. I talk to my animal all the time. I don't know how many people do. I'll be right. Mommy will be right back. Okay, you stay right there. Mommy's gonna get you this. Mommy's gonna get you that. All the time. Constantly do that. Okay, so also the ability to receive gut feelings and signals of our body, gut feelings. Now, if you are from a Native American tribe, any Native tribe whatsoever, you will notice that your instincts and your intuitions, you get more of this gut feeling. Okay. Some will develop not just the gut feelings, but others will also develop the psychic abilities with the shamans. But a lot of natives do have that gut feeling. It's like a sixth sense. It's an instinct. They can feel it deep down in their gut. And that's because of the deep connection they do have with the land. And that's truly what I believe there. So that's pretty cool. Now let's see. A highly intuitive sensitive. Okay. They are highly intuitive, sensitive, and they can use their guides to help themselves with their lives, not just themselves, but you can actually help with others. You can know when it's time to move, time to fight, time to keep going. It's like, okay, I got this feeling I'm supposed to go somewhere. You don't know where it is. Just get in the car and go. Follow your instincts is what you want to do. Okay. Because you don't want to trap yourself in that. Okay. Now, let's see. There's characteristics of intuitive empath characteristics is what we're going to be reading. I'm going to get a quick swig of coffee here. Mm. Any questions, guys? Feel free. Any questions? Now, some people actually believe that intuitive empaths fall into certain categories. Okay. They have some subtle different characteristics. However, there's no actually scientific claim to pose all this. Whatever. Now, research is actually lacking. You may feel your traits and your characteristics reasonable ones for the following types. If you identify as an empathic, an intuitive empathic. Now, if you're identifying yourself like this are some of the traits you will actually find, is what it is. Now, let's see. A highly intuitive empath. Now, this kind of intuitive empath is believed to have very high levels of intuition. They are said to be extremely perceptive and sensitive to others' emotions. They also might take on the suffering of others and go the extreme mile for people as a result. They may also be easily overwhelmed by noises and smells. Noises. Nonstop noises is me. I think that's why I don't watch TV a lot. Sometimes I'll just come and I'll chill and I'll do my thing, or I read books, or I'll just focus on the book because it's like loud noises. Oh my God. Loud noises get to me. I don't know about you guys. All right. Now, there's also clairvoyant, intuitive empath. I know so many different types here. Well, and again, while there's no evidence, blah, 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 blah. Now, clairvoyant, intuitive empath psychics have telepathic abilities. It actually suggests that they have a strong sense of knowing. Now, when we're talking about telepathy, okay, there are many different types of telepathy here. Or actually, we're speaking right now about the type of telepathic communication that I'm referring to has to do with spirit. Now, spirit doesn't always go in my ear. They just kind of send me the information and play Pictionary with me, especially if they don't speak my language. So, and that's the way the information actually comes to me when I'm talking to you. So it's more of a they're sending it to me. Now, this actually suggests that they have a strong sense of knowing, whether it's just a strong sense of knowing or whether it has anything to do with, like I said, the telepathic ability of spirit communication, because some spirits do communicate telepathically, which is known as a knowing. Not every spirit that some of us speak to is down here on this earth. Your guides are, yes, but the loved ones and things like that, no. So everything is on different planes. Now, an emotional intuitive empath. Some people believe that emotional intuitive empaths tend to absorb others' emotions. Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, they can also become easily drained and exhausted as a result. It is believed that they are usually impacted by external energies and need to be careful about who they choose to spend their time with. And this is something that's very true. There was a study that was done that noted that people with highly trained empathy may be able to tap into other people's emotions. However, there's no evidence. Of course, there never is any evidence because you can't have a scientific explanation for this. Animal and plant intuitive. Now, there we go. Instead of communicating with spirits, we're actually having a conversation with the land, is what it is. Now, animals and plants intuitives, okay, they are believed to have some deep connection with what is known as the funa, okay? They have the ability to communicate with them. And again, we're talking about earth and animals. They're considering to be nurturing, loving, and compassionate, okay? However, again, there's no research. So, what it is we're talking about is the animals and the other type of intuitive abilities. Now, if you guys have any questions here, please, please, please feel free. I would love to help you out with any questions you have about these certain things. Now, because now we're going to get into there's like three different types, is what they're talking about. And there's also a clear empathy. So we could go on and on and on with different types of terms, okay? Or we can get into some more of the aspects of what the downsizes are and try to find ways to actually help yourself. And that's what it's about. You need to find ways to help yourself better cope with your abilities. Now, me, I'm a very sensitive individual to energy. So before I learned to block my energy, I wore fingerless gloves a lot until I could not connect with the energy, because some people, it's not just the empathy or in the intuitive, it's also somebody could have a touch of psychometry, which means that when you touch an object, you're going to pick up on the past. Now, if you're an empath and say you're at a flea market or a mall, you're going to touch something and everything's going to go haywire. You're going to feel so many different things at once. And we can get into a little bit of that, because an individual that's an empath, your sense, your emotions can actually boom, flip like a switch. And there really is kind of slightly beyond your control, because what it is, it's if an individual is, say if an individual came in, they're depressed, they're at a friend's house and they're really depressed and they're upset, and they sit in this chair and their energy has been in that chair. And again, empath energy, this is what we're connecting here. Empaths read what is known as energy, because we as individuals are energy individuals. Our spirits are energies. So what it is that, okay, this person leaves, you didn't know this person sat there, you come in, you go to visit your friend, you're happy go lucky, having a good time, you got a smile on your face, you're all excited, oh, finally get some time to myself, this is good, this is wonderful. And all of a sudden you sit in this chair. Now your mood switches and you go sad, depressed, and you can't seem to, it's almost like you want to cry. It's at the point where you feel these tears building up in you and you don't know why. Okay. You're like, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. And a lot of empaths, if you notice, do have gotten diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is a mood disorder. Okay. That's not uncommon to actually be diagnosed with that type of psychological condition, especially for people that are empaths or intuitive empaths. Okay, to help you out with that. So it's keeping control. Now this gets into some of the downsides that we're actually talking about right now. Now, yes, being an empath or an intuitive empath is a wonderful gift, okay, which is really good. But you also carry a lot of complex difficulties around with you. So being deeply in tune with others can be very heavy burden to carry. So every now and then, yes, you do have to take that proverbial step back, is what you have to do. And, it is what it is. It can actually be challenging because intuitive empaths don't have the same filters when it comes to negative energy. And that's what it is. You have to be really careful who it is that you are around, because your positive energy and your negative energy, you're going to feel them both the same. So being picky and choosy about who your friends are, who you're with, who you want to hang with, yeah, that's something. I soak up moods at work and I literally know what's happening, but hold on, but that's the hard part. I literally wore fingerless gloves for the longest time. If you have a piece of tourmaline you could keep with you, tourmaline, Smoky Quartz, clear quartz. Literally, girl, just shove it in your bra. Okay, shove it right in your bra. Keep it right next to your skin. That's going to help you as an empath. Hematite is another one as well that can help you out. But the tourmaline really does help with the negative. The negative as far as that. Now, there's actually ways, like I said, there's ways to actually manage this. It's hard to stop, but you can actually manage this. And you have to learn to listen to your own instincts and guides, because a lot of us we could sit there and we could give 20 million people advice about, okay, try this, do that. But an empath has a hell of a time trying to listen to your own advice. You tell somebody, oh, don't give up. You're going to get there. Don't give up. You're going to get there. And you say to yourself, I think I'm going to give up. I'm not going to get there. And you know what it is? Don't give up. And this is why I have this thing in the back of in the back of me right now, but you can't see the whole thing, but it literally is Victory of Valhalla. And to me, it represents never giving up. Don't give up. Keep going forward, finding a way. You'll find that little piece in yourself to not give up. Just say F it all. Yeah. Oh my God. So now we're getting into, and again, there's a lot of information that's actually available on Intuitive. So what it is a real gift. But unfortunately, we don't want to absorb a lot of things, a lot of the negative energy. So what we're talking about right now tonight is we are talking about empaths. Now, what is and there's a lot of signs that you could get into to find out. Meditation, okay? Meditation is definitely one of the things to find out. But let's find out whether or not you guys are an empath first. What do you say? We'll give you some of the traits. Are you an empath? Okay. So what we have right here is are you overly sensitive or too shy is number one. Do you often feel like you don't fit in? Oh my God, guys, I have never fit in the box. I don't think I ever want to fit in the box. I like being who I am, and it took me a long time to come to terms with that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way, huh? Right, dude? Right? Right? Yeah, he agrees. All right. So, do crowds drain you? Oh my God, yes. Okay. Do you need a lot of alone time? And that's what happens. And just talking about it, you're in a flea market, okay? There's big crowds, or you're at a play for your kid, or you're visiting your grandkid, or you're at this barbecue, or whatever it is you're at. There are so many individuals around that what happens is you kind of like go on this like it's like having suction cups, and you go to all this energy, and it's coming in and you don't know how to feel. So you end up looking like the crazy lady in the bunch. And that's why a lot of times you'll find individuals kind of like in the back of the room or in the corner of the room, or just stay in there, come out, talk for a bit, and then go back in. Because that's what happens is, yes, the awkward duck. I feel like, no. And again, and this is the thing, I really think you love my alone time. My friends say it's not healthy, but it's a part of being an empath is what it is, because crowds can feel overwhelming. And that's it's not that it's you can hang around with like one individual, two individual, but when we're in a large crowd, we always have to have that back away type thing. And that is definitely a trait of an empath. Now, some people will say, oh my God, I'm an introvert. I don't like to be around people. How do you know you're not an empath? How do you know you don't have a form of empathy where you're actually kind of absorbing everybody around you? And that's not what it is, because all these emotions can get confusing, like Kelly Jean works. She works around a lot of people. So I'm sure when she wants to rest, she doesn't want to be around a lot of people. She's got to get that icky away from her. now now, empaths also can go on what is known as sensory overload. And what happens when you're in sensory overload, you feel drained. You feel all of a sudden like you were plugged in, you're doing good, and all of a sudden somebody came up behind you and said, "Nope, can't have any more. Nope, deal with it. Not gonna happen." So what do? You feel like you're drained, you're going sluggish. It's like, oh my God, I gotta get up, I gotta get up, I can't get up, I gotta get up, I can't get up. And you can't figure out how to do that. Okay. And that's pretty much that's normal. It's we are like so overloaded with sensories, and that might happen, especially if an individual works in a crowd and they have empathic traits, and they go home and they just want to go, "Ugh." Okay, what happens is you're on sensory overload. So this is why once we get in through this, we'll get into a little bit more information about what we can do to guard ourselves as empathic individuals. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, do you okay, you need to socially isolate. Raise hands. Everybody raise hands. Scooby, raise your paw. Yeah. Okay. My man ST raised his paw here. Yeah. All right. Now, when you absorb the energies of the other, it's not only natural that you might like to spend some alone time. Okay. For this reason, intuitive empaths often isolate themselves or have a tendency to stay away from social situations. Socially isolating and planning ahead to make your exit at social events can be it can be help a little bit more. So this way you don't, when you're on overload, we also have that ability to get that anxiety disorder, the depression. And what happens is people say, oh my God, you got manic depressive disorder every time you're around somebody. No, it's really a part of being an empath. Your mood changes when you're around little people here and there. Yes, that doesn't mean that you have bipolar. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is, no, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. I'm not crazy. Okay, maybe I am crazy, but I'm cool with it. Okay. But what it is, there's a reason behind these things. There's a reason this is actually happening to you. Now, do you pick up intuitions about people and you know things without them even telling you? Huh. Again, psychics, empaths, these are all abilities that we all have as individuals. Mm. I don't know what it is, but when my man makes me a coffee, it's freaking delicious every time. I love it. Okay. So now perhaps you know straight away when someone is lying. Oh, let me tell you something. I got a built-in lie detector. How many of you guys out there have a built-in lie detector? That is to me an upside and a downside. Okay. And let me explain. Let me explain. I know if somebody is bullpucking me, but I pick and choose my battles about when to open my mouth. Somebody could lie straight to my face. I know they're lying. I don't even know why they try, but I know it's a bunch of hogwash. But yet, you know. And you also know in retrospect when somebody is truly being sincere. Somebody is sincerely trying to help you, sincerely trying to be there for you. So you know when somebody's telling the truth and someone's not, even without the proof. Now I do. I used to believe everyone because I thought people were honest. I dug down and really, yes, and that's a part of it. It's a knowing. It's like I've always been taught your first instinct is usually a correct one. Your first intuition instinct is always your correct one. But yes, that's very true. Let's see what else. Let's see. You get a strong feeling about something right before it happens. These are actually characteristics of an intuitive empath. Okay. Now, ask yourself. Okay, ask yourself this: can I predict the future? Okay. You guys know how I feel about the future. I can give you a possible future. There is no such thing as predicting a future because I feel, me individually, that we have control over our fate. We have control from this moment forward, the road we choose to take. So, therefore, your path, your future is written in jello until you've taken that foot off to go to the next jello step. Jello's jiggly. And that's how I feel. Now, do you know things without people having to tell you? Is another question. I can predict I'll work till I die. No retirement. Oh, I love that. That was a good one. Ellie Jean and I are having a good time over here tonight. So I should probably check Blog Talk. Oh my goodness, I got tons and tons of questions. Okay, let's get into a little bit of self-care and then I will take some calls. So let's get into some things we can actually do about self-care is what we can do. Now, a self-care for an intuitive empaths, okay? And again, because what happens, guys, we're emotional sponges, is what it is, okay? There's just, we're going to absorb everything. You always tend to absorb everything that's around you. They don't have regular filters. We don't have regular filters, and like other people have. So everything comes in, whether it's negative or positive, it's all gonna come in. Now, what we need to learn to do is it's to not absorb other people's energies. We need to learn to do certain things. And I'm going to give you guys a few bit of things, and then we'll get into more detail after I take some calls. All right. Based on experience, let's see. Individuals learn how to stay grounded. That's the first thing I tell you guys. You got to be grounded because you get this fight or flight feeling is what you get all the time. You need to stay grounded. It's very important. And again, if you're too wide open and have no training whatsoever on how to ground yourself, it can actually be very overwhelming. We'll get into how to ground yourself in a minute. There's many different methods. You need to be grounded, desperately need to be grounded. Um, let's see. And again, what happens is if you haven't learned, you have, say, if you're new to the empathic, you're new to your empathic abilities, these are all things that are going to overwhelm you beyond belief. Beyond belief, this is definitely going to overwhelm you and you're going to suffer tremendously. So, yes, we all need to learn grounding, is what we do. Now, let's see. The right kind of self-care could actually, it's a remedy for the challenges that we as empaths take. Now let's see. I'm going to give you guys some information, but I think I'm going to take some calls first. But the first thing I want to let you know, as far as grounding, there's many different ways of grounding. There's crystals that you can use for grounding. I'll just pick up one and pretend it's a smoky, even though it's not. You can use crystals. And again, my tourmaline is over there. And you can ground yourself with the crystal energy. You can actually picture that your feet are rooting into the ground, into Mother Earth, and absorb the energy. Walking around barefoot on glass is another good way. Putting your hands in soil, having a lot of plants around is another good way to ground you, because it's earth. That's what you're dealing with, is the earth energy, the grounding energy there. So when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about taking breaks. So right now, I do have a few calls on the hold, and today we are talking about intuitive empaths. Now, if you have any questions or statements, or you need a little help with that, feel free. I'd love to hear from you. And again, I'm going to give the call-in number one more time. The call-in number is 323-870-3877. So let's see who we have on the line. We have caller ending in 9904. 9904. Now, I'm going to be answering that in 2 seconds. Now, when you call in, if you do have a question, you want to talk a little bit about your empathic parts, or you need that little bit of empathic help, remember to press 1 so I know that you do have a question and you're not just listening in. Okay. All right. So 9904. Hi, you're live on the air with ATU. How can I help you, honey? Hello. Hi, caller. You're live. This is Sue. Who am I speaking with? Shayna. Okay. What was your question, hon? Right now, we're talking about intuitive empaths. I do readings on the show, but today is we're talking about intuitive empaths, because some individuals will have stronger feelings, emotions. So if you've been listening to the show and following along and you're having any issues, please feel free to let me know. Let's see if we can work through that. No questions? Okay, thank you. All right, so I have caller 4885. 4885. Hi, welcome. You alive? This is Susan. Who am I speaking with? Good. Hi, Patricia. What is what, honey? Okay. Uh, hmm. Well, the easiest way for me to explain this without actually reading you tonight is to explain to you that when individuals as an empath, we have a tendency to be called into certain directions. We might not always understand why and how we're going to get there, but we just know that our energy wants us to be there. So therefore, if we put that in a more positive light and say, instead of saying how I'm going to get there, you're an empath. So what you do is you manifest easier as an empath. So you say, when I get there, okay? Not when I am going to get there. Picture yourself there. And what it does is it brings in that more of that positive energy. And the more positive we feel as individuals, the easier it is going to be for you. Picture yourself Picture yourself, literally picture yourself in your new place, being happy, loving the energy of the earth over there. Literally, just picture all of that. Continue to picture that. But be keep all the negative out and continue to look. Don't get discouraged. And that's the hardest part as an empath. When we're discouraged as empathic, we go extreme. And that's what, so try not to be discouraged. Keep that positivity and that possibility of that new beginning that's coming to you. Keep that feeling in you, and it'll be something that opens up a great deal for you. So just continue to look. I'm seeing newspapers in front of me right now. So I don't know if there's some type of a local something, or I don't know. It's like a almost like my mother used to pick up like the senior scopes and the Fahaven newspaper. They had their own little Fahaven newspaper where they had places that were actually opening up. It's almost something similar to that. There's going to be something in there. You'll be able to find that. Okay. Use your intuition and your instincts. You'll find it. Are you Native American, honey? Hmm. It could be. The only thing I can tell you is that the native tribes are very closed unless you can actually prove you're part of them. Oh, bless you. So you can always contact an individual out there and explain some of the family background if they're willing to listen, and maybe that would be somebody that could help you out a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Trust your instincts. That's basically what tonight is about. Tonight is about trusting your instincts. Trust your own intuition, okay? Thank you so much for calling in, honey. Good night. There we go. All right, we got 13 minutes left. Let's get back over here. Hello, Howie. Hear her great on Blog Talk, but cannot hear her on your live. Okay. They just updated my Wi-Fi, so something is definitely happening here. All right, I will fix that. But thank you very much. Now, another way of actually doing this is you want to take breaks, okay? You want to, hey, Brolek, how you doing, honey? Hello, Howie. Hello, Shield. Yeah, I think next week we're going to do readings. They just updated the Wi-Fi in my house, so I think I might do the old phone method. So even though the connection seems good, I think you hear better when I have the phone connected to that. So don't worry, we'll figure that out. All right. So another thing you want to do as an empath is you need to take breaks. Okay. You need to take constant breaks. Okay. And what I mean is you need to put yourself in a timeout. And that also goes along the idea of us as intuitive empaths. We're all clogged up. We need that break. So if you're at, say, if you're at a family function or you're at a party and you have to be at this event, give yourself that time out. Give yourself that time to walk away. To this day, I still do it. I could be sitting down having coffee with somebody in a donut shop, and I have to step out for a couple minutes by myself and recenter, recalm, reground, and go back in. And that's not an uncommon thing. That is not an uncommon thing. It sounded better when I had the phone connected to it, huh? Howie, if that's a yes, let me know. I can go back that way. That's no problem. Um, you need to also be very careful who you choose to spend your time with. Okay. Now, many people believe that intuitive empaths can be easily influenced energies around them. So, but what it is you're not influencing other people. Sometimes other people, especially when you're new to being an empath, other people can actually influence you. Okay. And your energy. And that's what happens is we start to feel other people's energy. Now, you also need to shield yourself. Okay. There's a method that I have used for a lot of times as far as shielding. Now, literally, we're talking about visualization, and visualizing a shield around you is what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why the sound changed on this thing. So even on my laptop, it sounds like the sound isn't coming out the way it used to. I'll have to figure that part out. I think it's my computer. All right. So what we're talking about in shielding right now. So I'm going to explain the correct way to bubble yourself. Okay. Next week we're going to do a little test on this, and we're going to do some readings next week. For Halloween, I haven't really decided if I want to get into ancient history of Shamahain or talk about some Celtic stuff. Mm. Next week, I am going to do readings. I'm going to do a check on the laptop and find out why everything seems to be a little bit more quiet. My volume's all the way up and it is still quiet. So I have no idea. All right. So, what I want you guys to do right now, for those that are actually listening in and want to practice, what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes. Okay. Because there are what is known as vampires, literally energy vampires, okay? Not the type of vampires that actually suck your blood, but energy vampires, okay? They kind of like suck your abilities, kind of like just kind of you're not really yourself anymore, and things get a little haywire for you, so your emotions become off and then you don't make the right decisions. So what we need to do, and this is of course something I've learned myself, so what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, okay? And I want you to picture yourself, you're either standing, sitting down, you're very comfortable, okay? On the side of you, not around you, on the side of you, okay? I always do the right side and I pull it to the left, and I'll explain that in a minute. Now, on the right side of you, I want you to picture a dot, a very small dot. There's nothing in there but beautiful white protective light energy. Nothing. It's so small you can hardly see anything in there. Okay? It's like smaller than a speck of dust. Now, this bubble that's on the right hand side of you continues to grow and grow. What I want you to do is I want you to continue to slowly grow this bubble with this beautiful cleansing white light in you, this guardian light. And it's a beautiful protective bubble of wonderful energy. Continue to grow this bubble. Allow this bubble to grow and grow until it's as tall as you. I wanted this bubble to be as tall as you. Maybe we'll say we'll make it a couple of inches taller and wider. This way we can get your aura field covered as well. Okay? Continue to grow this bubble until you have that. Now I want you again, I want you to take this bubble and I want you to imagine that this bubble is coming to the right side of your body. It is literally going through half of your body. And now you feel this bubble covering. Anything that was negative will leave on the left side. That is the reason you don't bubble yourself. You need to make the bubble first, then pull the bubble over yourself. Because what you're doing is you're creating this beautiful white light, gorgeous protection energy. Create that energy, then pull it on yourself. Okay. And that's what we want to do. All right. And that is a wonderful way. Yeah, my volume is all the way up on my computer and I can't hear anything, and I have no idea why. So that is a good method as far as shielding yourself. Now, meditation. Meditation is definitely another method that we can utilize right here. Regular meditation helps replenish your energy. Even if you're just staying there for 3 minutes, doesn't matter. 3 minutes. A couple of short breathing exercises. Let's check the time here. Okay, we got 6 minutes. Good. So, and again, just meditation. We can do it right now. We can do it for like 2, 3 seconds. It really doesn't matter. You can do it for minutes if you want. Okay, you can close your eyes. You can, again, the root chakra mantra. We've talked about this, and that is your middle finger with your thumb, and you want to face them up and put them on your lap. That's the grounding energy. Now you want to close your eyes, and the only thing I want you to focus on is how you breathe. Okay, literally, you just close your eyes. Now, are you breathing in and out? Okay, does your chest go up and down, or does your stomach go in and out? And then I just want you to breathe. Okay, I want you to breathe in through your nose, which is always positive, and then blow out through your mouth. And that is you getting rid of the negative around you, and just quiet your mind, especially for those that do have issues, um, do have particular issues with that. And you want to be able to just take that few minutes and just focusing on your breath itself can help you out. Now, if you can lay down and just listen to some, I prefer drumming music. I find it very appeasing. It's a wonderful thing that I do have. So I love that. So I do a lot with the drumming music, which is awesome. Um, Now, and it, like I said, the meditation is key. Crystals, there's certain crystals that you can use as an empath to carry with you. Black tourmaline, clear quartz, which is also an amplifier at the same time. So it depends on how you take it. And then we're going to get into some smoky quartz. Smoky quartz does have a way of actually cleansing out negativity as well. Tourmaline is very grounding. Some people, it might be too grounding for them, but it really does depend. Hematite is another good one as well. But as far as individuals, the top three is the black tourmaline, smoky quartz, and the oh my god, the clear quartz. But like I said, the clear quartz can actually amplify you there. So yeah, so that's basically the gist of what we're talking about. I cut down a lot of things I normally do into about an hour. Now, what I want to do next week is I want to do some readings, but I got to do some work on my laptop. I mean, it's running faster. It's running beautiful since they updated the Wi-Fi, but something's going on with the sound in here. So I might have to either hook up a little digital speaker. I have a digital speaker I can put right next to my microphone. and that would solve the problem. I could do it that way. So that way, anything that comes through here would be awesome. So, and I want to thank you guys literally for tuning in. Does anybody have any more questions? Any more questions about your empathic abilities? Oh, sorry. And for those just tuning in, okay, I figured I would show you guys. There you go. I can get that up there. Awesome. Show you guys my new co-host here. This is my orange. This is SD. SD's my new co-host. So he doesn't say much. Doesn't say much at all. But he likes to watch. So he's got it. He's gonna keep an eye on you. He'll give you a high five. Sup? All right. So, all right. I got evidently I have some work to do on the sound. I'll go over that and I'll figure out what's going on with that. And next week, let's see, same bat time, same bat channel. Going to be doing some readings. I need to figure out why the sound is going haywire when it hasn't gone haywire before. I have absolutely the same, so that I'll have to get into some of the general settings. It could be the settings of what's going. That's why. Let's see. Audio out. It's all picking up. Relink headphones. Okay, speakers. Try that. All right, let's see if that is a little better right now. I'm gonna go back over a little bit, and I changed the setting on that. The volume's all the way up on my computer, and I cannot hear it. So, all right, I'm gonna have to do some fixing on this. 90 seconds, and again, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. All right, guys, peace out. I'm really gonna have to figure out what's going on with the sound of my laptop, because I've never heard anything sound so soft in my whole life. All right, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the show, what you could actually hear from it. I'm gonna have to go into my computer and the settings and try to find out what is wrong um, with my sound and why it is so low. So, peace out, guys. I will be doing some shows here and there, but next week, Rift Radio readings. See you there. Don't be late.